Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we finished off the Rogue's quest and we unlocked and began doing the Ninja quest line. And in this episode I'm gonna begin the episode by showing you guys an actual thing that changes when you switch to Ninja, and that is that your movement changes. You now do the Naruto run. Basically, whenever you jump you do a flip. Which is pretty damn cool. Alright. Let's go and switch to Arcanist. Let me go and join a leveling roulette. And while this is happening, let us also go and continue with these. So those are in Southern Thanalan. A lot of those. Let's see, Western Thanalan, North Shroud, Eastern Thanalan, just lots of stuff in Thanalan and then some stuff in Central and North Shroud. Let's go to the North Shroud first then. And switch back to an Arcanist. So, the bombs, let me go and check for a second. The balloons are over here, I'm pretty dang sure. And the golems are in this part over here. And that's all that I can show for the moment. I will be right back. Okay, I just noticed something pretty dang funny. So apparently I was really close to reaching level 30. So after I took care of some bombs and got the first freaking XP reward, I then proceeded to, you know, level up. Yay! Let's go and kill these things over here. The Brute Ziz and Lintworms. Both in Sword of the Haven. Let me see though. Okay, so the Lintworms are over here. And then the Ziz are back there somewhere. Yep, over there. I'll be right back after killing these. Alright. So. I guess no duties for me, more raiding instead. Let us get a move on. Also, I'm gonna turn something on. So I can get... so I can cool off a little bit, because... 'tis quite warm in here. Ba-da-ba. Okay. Hello. So then Ruin Mastery, where we get Ruin 2. And also this, but it's inferior to what I have. However, the casting gear is better. It's also level 31, so... I've been expecting you, Lyn. As ever, Clea's predictions prove accurate almost down to the moment, and her mind is especially sharp, with such a dangerous confrontation in the offing. The Yellow Jackets have contacted us with word of this Maga. It appears his merchant vessel is presently anchored off the coast of Bloodshore. Once the pirate's business there is concluded, rumor has it that he intends to embark on an extended voyage to the east. It will be some time before he returns once more to Lim Salaminza. If he passes up this opportunity, Clea will lose her chance to settle the score with Tasmaga, and we risk the Foreseer stumbling once more into the blackest melancholy. Simply getting close enough to Tasmaga will prove difficult. Clea has, however, already formulated a solution, and has set her grand strategy into motion. Your first task in this undertaking is to travel to Costa del Sol and deliver this set of directions to a fisherman by the name of Rilzern. More instructions will be forthcoming. Off we go. Away! Hello. What does he want, lass? As you can see, I've made my hands full. I've my hands full with my fishing. Directive list: a short list of of orders drafted by Melvian's Gate Assessor Clea. Ah, thanks for that. I've been told to expect you. Here, you're to take one of my earrings and deliver it to the cook Apelona. Yes, and how might I help you? Master Gigaruju is expecting his midday meal any moment now. Fresh herring. Herring so fresh it still flaps its fins in one final desperate attempt to propel itself from your pack through the air and back into the sweet salt water it once called home. Oh, I love this. A fresh herring. Why, the master does enjoy a bite of broiled fish of an afternoon. Whatever. This might even earn me a few extra coins for this week's wages. Well, you have earned yourself one of my homemade eel pies. I should tell you, though, your Arcanist colleague was quite insistent that you take the pie to Master Gigaruju, rather than scoff it down yourself. And what brings you to my, and I use the term, facetishly humble abode, dear madam? Such a heavenly aroma. Are you perchance carrying an eel pie about your person? How commendable that you should research the delicacies that tinkle my fancy before daring to intrude upon my most ponderous of pondering. Speaking of ponderous, well, I was speaking of it. At least I have a hefty purse of gil to persuade you to relinquish your claim on that pastry. The culinarian Opolina would have you believe her homemade eel pie is far more delicious than Mother Mion's realm-famous handmade eel pie. One moment, if you will. I have been instructed by a Melvian gate assessor to hand over this message to whoever delivers an eel pie to Master Gigaruju. Take the purse you received from Master Gigaruju and hand it to the dancer Ildkith as she prepares to return home. Clea. Nani? This is a very roundabout way of making me do things. Yes, if you're looking for a dancer, then I would first see your coin. I have 3 children to feed and no time to waste on idle chit-chat. Oh my, that is quite a purse. My precious darlings will eat like kings this week. And such a simple job as well, I was still to expect you see. In return for the koi, I am to give you these. The little satchel is from your Mikote friends, and the perio is from me. That last item you are to deliver to Drogo, the warehouse foreman. What in God's name is happening? I ain't got time for the likes of you. If I don't get me work squared away soon, the master will have me out on the pike. You got something for me, you say? Well-worn perio, a colourful cotton undergarment worn for countless summers by the dancer Ildkith. Hey, now ain't this Ildkith's perio? The Mikote lass said someone would be bringing me a gift when I couldn't refuse and stick me with a pitchfork if she weren't telling the God's own truth. Here, you're supposed to have this bottle of wine. Take it to the Flying Shark and pour a cup for the sailors with a drink in there. That's what she told me to tell you, anyway. I'd watch me back if I was you, though, lass. Them sailors the meanest bunch of cutthroats I'd ever did see. Wow. Why, though? Why do you want a pair of used undergarments for several summers? Why? What is wrong with you? You want me to taste your wine, eh? Well, no. I ain't one to pass up free grog. Wine's so old, no one alive can remember when it was bottled. The cork appears to still be intact. Limerick straight! Now that's a bloody fine drop. If you ship this stuff to the east, we'll be selling bottles by the crate. Or come with us back to the morning store. The captain will want to have a word with you. There's a good lass. And as for you, Miss Dancer, you stay close to all ear scrats. It gets damn cold in them long sea voyages. Here. Shh, we'll talk later. What the fuck is this? You ready then? We'll be off as soon as the boat's loaded. Oh, fine grog and a fine woman. The captain will be pleased with it all. Pray do not stare so. This was the most expedient method of gaining access to the ship. I will take the touch from you now. You may have it back after I take the items I need. Hey, what mischief are you two about? I was merely borrowing some clothes. You wouldn't wish me to catch a chill from this brisk ocean here, would you? You'll be dancing yourself warm once we get on the ship, lass. You better slip off that ratty rope before you meet the captain. Of course, of course. I'm happy to show him the performance that awaits. Ah, bitch! The bitch admiral's lapdog. Come back for that lesson, have you? It is I who shall be teaching this day. My lecture will focus on the manipulation of reality through applied strategy. Enough of this damn yapping. By the time I'm done with you, you'll remember who your real master is. Time to kick their ass. Yep. Whoopsie. Toasty! Ouchies. Gut Ripper. Now that is a name and a half. Da, da, da. Eat my AoEs, bitch! Oh my god, Jesus. Help. I need this. I guess that's what I get for using AoEs, huh? Using AoEs as a DPS when you don't have a tank is kind of a dangerous thing to do. A rabbit little cur. Our numbers matter not. It is strategy that will win this battle. Prepare yourself, Desmaga. With your defeat will I cast for the shackles you closed on my soul. You think so, eh? You think your fancy magics are a match for my blade? You've got another thing coming. This Maga poison heart. Nice. Hey, I leveled up. Level up. Wow, you, my dude. Your HP is what I would like to call lacking. Really? That was this Maga? Jesus. What a joke. As Magana faces defeat, he will flee to the starboard rail. Obvious. Next comes his attempt to escape into the sea. You think you're pulling my strings, do you? Think I'll dance to your tune? Well, I ain't falling for your bloody tricks. It is at this moment he notices that the yellow jackets I had you summon in my explicit instructions to Rilzen. You're a fool to return, Desmaga. I hear you're fond of shackles, so we bought a set especially for you. Or he brought a set, whatever. No. Get ass, fool! I love how it just didn't even take his weapon. This concludes today's lecture. Thank you, Lynn. The strategy would not have succeeded without your flawless execution. You would suggest that my tactics yet require more work. One must allow for some small deviation in performance. I believe, however, that I now understand where my calculations went awry. It is not enough to wish to shape reality. One must also have a complete understanding of the reality one wishes to obtain. It is time I sought out our guildmaster. Yeah, yeet. Pray convey to Mr. Sturbergay my fondest wishes and my appreciation for all that he has done for me. Nod. No, okay. The true test of strategies now begins. I guess it was a nod, but then from her. No, strategy waifu. Anyway. Back to the something. To the Alchemist Guild, there we go. Ah, the Alchemist Guild? Yeah. Ah! Arcanist Guild. I said nothing. Oh yeah, I leveled up. Hey. Welcome back, Lynn. There's much that I would ask you, but first, may I have the satchel you received during your assignment? The Veil of Mystery surrounding this otherwise ordinary sack is so thick it could suffocate an Aurochs. Nice. The original owner needs her costume back, you see. I'll make sure everything is returned safe and sound. Now let us speak of Clea. I'm glad to know that she has finally freed herself to pursue her heart's desire, and you are to thank for awakening the Foreseer to her self-imposed fetters. The brilliance of Clea's strategies served to blind her to her own feelings, and it pained me to see her suffer so. Your example may even encourage Clea to improve her combat capabilities, although such will surely come in time. After all, she intends to study under the Guildmaster's direct instruction. Imagine those two obsessive arcanists and the complexity of the tactics they will develop. It may very well be that your actions in bringing them together will prove the catalyst that sparks a new era of invention in the art of Arcanima. You too should look for the improvement of your discipline if you are to keep pace with all that is certain to follow. To that end, I offer you a new technique, one I pray allows you to more readily drive back your foes on the battlefield. As you learn Ruin 2! Any of these better now? The pants, actually. Gucci. Ruin 2. Just Ruin with more damage. Ruin with a new funky mode. The book, however, is worse. Oh my... Really? This is what I get? Oh my god, I look ridiculous. There's nothing better. Okay. Okay. So now we unlock 2 quests, Forgotten but Not Gone and Austerities of Flame. Let's begin with this one first. Greetings then, it is well you have come, for we have an intriguing matter to discuss. A request has come from to our guild from the Sons of Saint Konak, an organization of some of the finest minds in Eorzea, and they have asked for you by name. It appears that the research the Sons are currently conducting would benefit from the assistance of an Arcanist, specifically one who has had the tempering experience of defeating the primal Ifrit. Though I must admit to some curiosity as to how these scholars knew the extent of your heroic exploits, I suppose the source of their knowledge is of little relevance. If you would answer this request, then you will find your contact a researcher by the name of Yimthra at Upkalu Falls in the nation of Kardani. If you're wondering, the quest that I'm doing right now is for the Summoner one, and Forgotten but Not Gone is to unlock the Scholar, because both Scholar and Summoner share the same XP, actually. So, if you have a high-level Summoner, you will have a high-level Arcanist. I'm sorry, you will have a high-level Scholar, and vice versa. I, in a certain way, don't... Like, this is the only job in the game that does this. And I honestly don't really like it that much. Because it makes it so that, like, okay... I'm probably going to be playing Scholar for the most part. Although I enjoy playing Summoner more in content. Picking a Scholar is going to allow me to just have insta gears. Because healer. But we'll see how that goes. You're the Nadir, I assume. Well met, and thank you for coming. My name, as you obviously surmised, is Yimthra. Or Ymithra. There we go, Ymithra. I am a member of the Sons of Saint Koinak. Ours is a Shadian order that seeks the lost knowledge of the Arakan Empire. And in that regard, we have recently made a singular important discovery at our dig site in Mordona. We salvaged from the ruins a set of ancient texts describing the existence of a sect of Arakan mages known as Summoners. These were arcane practitioners said to have the ability to siphon the essence of the primals, and manifest the stolen energy as a biddable ally known as an Eggy. Should we succeed in resurrecting such arts, then we might well hold in our hands the power to bring this age of conflict to an end. There is, however, as there always is, or there always must be, one monumental obstacle to realizing this reality. In order to manifest these obedient incarnations of the Beastman's savage deities, one must defeat a primal. One must first defeat a primal and capture its etheric essence. Thus, only one who can boast such a daunting achievement under her belt may even begin on the path to becoming a summoner. Do you understand now why I call upon you? If you wish to contribute to my research, then come join me in the west of Byragod's Strike in southern Thanlan. There shall we conduct a ritual of summoning, the Austerities of Flame. Yes. To the desert. Deep in the Sigodi Desert. Surprise, worms. Greetings to you once more, Lynn. I had a feeling this unique opportunity would be nigh impossible for you to ignore. Let us proceed directly to the ritual, shall we? According to the records we recovered, the summoners of old would perform these rites in a land in which the naturally dominant element matched the aspect of the avatar they wish to call forth. Only in such a place might one sufficiently shift one's etheric balance in the desired direction. The element of fire is especially strong here in the Sigodi Desert. I can think of no land more fitting in which to summon an incarnation of the Lord of the Inferno. Before we begin, I must insist that you accept this gem. It may appear of little worth, but within its faceted depths dwell the memories of long-deceased summoners. Now you must focus. Visualize the ether flowing through you, a vibrant current of energy transforming into living fire. Hold this image in your mind, and the raging heat of your life force shall spawn an eggy wreathed in flame. Be aware, however, that this nascent entity will appear before you unbound and hostile. It is your charge to overpower the avatar and establish yourself as its master. The path of the summoner is not, if not, fraught with peril. Yes. My lord. The dialogue. The dialogue. Time to fight ffXIV again. Well, ffXIV in any case. We also have Mithra. Ymithra. Yeah, sure, I guess. Ymithra. To assist us in our endeavor. Flaming Crush. Hey. I do like this little, like, mini bosses, I would say, against these, against his primals. I do think it's cool. There you go. See ya. Most impressive, Lyn, the Fireborn Eggy has submitted to your will. You have mastered the austerities of flame, and that is no small feat. Pray let us return to Upkalu Falls that we might further discuss your achievement. A lot of the times, the only thing I can say is, yes! I'm following these people along. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Am I just following them? Yes. Right. I do hate the fact that she's placed over there at the Upkalu Falls. That's a little bit of an annoying place to reach every single time. But oh well. Man, this pants is horrifying. This is like a this is a fucking piece of hell. Do I have any pants in the not so distant future? Let me see. Level 41. 32. Level 32 Disciple of War thing over here. Battle Mage. So I won't have to deal with this for that long. Nice. Also, for anybody who may have not have noticed it, Ruin 2 is just as more damage. Nothing other than that. This is truly a momentous occasion. You have rescued the lost art of summoning from the grasping mire of forgotten history. But you must know more of the avatar you have bound. In the ancient tongue of the Allegan Empire, it would be known as ffXIV, where Eggy translates approximately to pure or the essence of. In short, you have tamed a willful manifestation of Ifrit's raging flames. As you might expect from an entity born of the Lord of the Inferno, this avatar and its capacity for destruction should serve you well in your battles to come. With such an ally at your command, it is not too soon to take upon yourself the title of Summoner. You have proven yourself more than worthy of the soul crystal you now possess. Yet, be it as it may, the road before you is long and arduous. If you would triumph in this age of conflict, you must needs master more than just the Eggy of Fire. I suggest you next fix your gaze upon claiming a servant of unyielding stone. You once seized victory against the primal Titan, did you not? Though I admit I am eager to progress directly to the austerities of Earth, you must be careful not to overtax your reserves of strength. Rest well and spend some time to grow accustomed to your newfound abilities. Once you feel prepared to continue with our historic research, you will find me here, awaiting your arrival with barely constrained impatience. Thank you. Hehe, thank you. As we unlock Summoner, which is definitely a job that I really like playing. I really like playing Summoner. You learn how to summon ffXIV. But only when you equip this thing. Okay. Trance gauge expanded. No, not really. The only thing that has changed right now is that instead of summon Ruby Carbuncle, it's now summon Ifrit instead. Time to reconfigure my entire hotbar again. Yeah. Shouldn't be too difficult, that. Press F for that. That over there. That over there. This over there. That over there. This over there. I think. Hold up. No, we have... Now, Hold up a second. Did I have Fester on 2? I thought I always had it on 3. Curious. Because of Gemshine over there. Outburst on E. Pushes Brilliance over there. This on F. That on R. Oh, no. It is on 2. It is on 2. Yeah, I remember now. Sleep can just go over there, because I'll probably never use it anyway. And Physic. The same for Physic. The annoying thing with Physic, like there's another job, which is I think is Red Mage gets another cure spell. The reason why Physic is not good is because it basically stacks with your mind stat. However, it's only like mind, I'm sorry, when you're a DPS, or in any case a caster DPS, you do not get any mind, you get a lot of intelligence, because it increases your magic potency as a DPS. So, long story short, Physic is useless. Anyway, let us now go and return to Lim Zalaminza. And now it is time for us to go and stretch. Oh. Hee-ha-ha-hee-ha. No. Now it's time to go and unlock Scholar. Do I seriously need to be an Arcanist? Fuck. Balls. Okay, let me go and just unequip this. I'm not going to save this. Lynn, have you any interest in history? If so, I would share with you an opportunity to study the ways of the ancients. A curiously refined and well-read marauder visited the guild the other day in the hopes he might meet an arcanist of exceptional skill. He claims that the assistance of one such individual would be invaluable for the success of his archaeological research. I say claims because despite his eloquence, the thought of a marauder with academic ambition still strikes me as odd. You are, of course, free to formulate your own opinions. His name is Alcazolka, and he can be found at the Marauders Guild, should curiosity overwhelm you. Little ouchie. Nice. Hello. Thank you for setting aside your preconceptions, then. I am acutely aware how unusual it is for a marauder to conduct research, as it were. However, you shall soon understand that I am not at all like my more muscular brethren. Rather than rush blindly into the enemy's maw, I formulate and execute stratagems to great effect. My archaeological pursuits are but an extension of this practice, for at present I am researching the military tactics of ancient Nim. It would not surprise me if you were unfamiliar with Nim. The civilization flourished some 15-odd centuries ago during the 5th Astral Era. The Nimians lived during an age of wonders, when the magical arts flourished, but magics can be wielded for weal or for woe, and this period of peace eventually gave way to the Great War of the Magi. The nations of that bygone era brought earth-shattering magics to bear against one another, yet Nim, with only a handful of mages to support its army of mariners, repulsed would-be invaders time and time again. Precisely how a military force of this composition could defy its stronger neighbors is a mystery that has long puzzled military historians. By translating extant Nemean tablets, which I have recently purchased, I mean to solve the riddle at long last. As my knowledge of Arcanima is cursory at best, I require an experienced arcanist to assist me with my analysis of any text pertaining to the magical arts. Will you be that arcanist, Lynn? There is, however, a complication. The Nemean tablets and other resorted relics, for which I paid an exceedingly large amount of money, were stolen en route to Limsa Laminsa. The information is inscribed upon those tablets could be of untold significance. I will not allow thieves to sell it to some rich old-down collector for a pittance. Pray accompany me to the Raincatcher Gully docks and help me reclaim my relics. I have strong reason to believe the perpetrators can be found there. That's to Easternadosh. I also need to go and summon my carbuncle again. There we go. As I suspected, they are not more than broken men who have seized the docks and taken to robbing every passing ship. Come, let us put an end to their banditry and take back what is ours. Defeat the bandits and reclaim the stolen relics. Whoopsie. What in the hells? Broken Lancer. Kick his ass. But with magic. Get him. Oopsie. No, balls. Eat my fire, bitch. Wow. Dude got obliterated. You'll love to see it. Can I please? Thank you. Screws it. Do you see any others? No, excellent. Now help me search for the tablets. Yes, this is it. A treatise on Nemean military tactics, just as I'd hoped. Hello there. Mayhap the tablet can explain this. There it is. Scholars, familiars, fairies. The sunlight of Eos doth soothe and shield. The moonlight of Selene doth silence and strengthen. Lynn. But at 12, have you any idea what this means? We have rediscovered the long-lost magical arts of Nemean scholars. Fairies. Honest to God, fairies. Well, now I've seen everything. Anyway, I should return to the guild and begin translating the tablets. I cannot wait to see what other secrets it contains. Back we go. Gotta go forward and back, and then forward and back, and then go forward and back, and then one step forward. You will learn this song if you stick around for a long time, because we're not there yet. Oh God, we're not there yet. We're not anywhere close yet. Alright. Hello. Excellent timing, Lynn. I've just finished transcribing a section which will doubtless be of interest to you. According to the tablet, the crystal from which the fairy sprang forth is called the Soul of the Scholar, and it contains the wisdom of those long-lost dead Nimian mages. With it, you can call upon the fairy as you did before, and bind her to your will. As I said before, I have little knowledge of Arcanima, so unless you have some objections, I would like to entrust the crystal to you. Oh, and you needn't recompense me. Simply knowing that the lost arts are being preserved is enough. I shall devote my energies to deciphering the remaining text. Should I discover anything new, I promise that you will be the first to know. Quest complete. Scholar unlocked. Now let me tell you something. I used to really like Scholar, but not anymore. Alright, so with the Soul of the Scholar equipped, you can summon a fairy to aid you in battle. When called forth, she will assume the form of a hero-type pet. So, I know that somebody in my static, actually 2 people in my static, would probably kill me for saying this, but Scholar is my least favorite healer. Doesn't mean that it's a bad healer, by the way. Not at all. There's people have saved me more than once. But I personally am not too big of a fan of the way that Scholar works. Right, so let me also go and add this to my hotbar now. There we go. Let's also go and rearrange my entire hotbar again. So, we have Lucid Dreaming. We have our Resurrection spell. We have Swift Cast. We have Summon Selene and Summon Eos. The difference between these two is... like, there's no difference. It's just the way that they look. I think there used to be a difference. The way that they were talking about it in the cutscene makes me think that there used to be a difference, where Eos was more for healing and Selene was more for, like, doing damage. So I would have to actively, like, switch between the two. We have Physic, which I think I'm going to put over here. Adloquium. Whispering Dawn. Tab, maybe? Nah. I think this makes more sense. Okay, so. Let me do some explaining. Summon Eos. Or Selene, whichever one you prefer. I personally prefer the colors of Eos, so I will choose Eos. Shoot me or do not, I don't give a shit. Go to the bottom of the list and you can see the pet skills. In the form of Embrace at level 1, which restores target's HP. So, the person in your party who would be at the lowest amount of health, your fairy will heal, periodically. Recast time is 3 seconds, so every 3 seconds she will heal somebody for a cure with 150 potency. I think the potency of this cure would also increase with the amount of mind that you have, which is usually the case with a lot of these. Then Whispering Dawn, which is an ability you can use, gradually restores the HP of all nearby party members, with a cure potency of 80, and with 21 seconds cooldown. Well, yeah, it's both of you. It has a 60-second cooldown, and it lasts for 21 seconds. So I would say that this is pretty good friggin'... this is a pretty good, like, thing to just use periodically in more difficult encounters. Your Physic will actually become useful now. It's your standard heal. Then Adloquium. This is where stuff starts to get interesting or this is what basically differentiates Scholar from normal healers. We haven't seen a normal healer yet, because we haven't gone to, we haven't unlocked the White Mage yet. But you basically have 2 types of healers in this game. A raw damage healer, so just HP healer, and a shield healer. Scholar is a shield healer. So you can heal with Physic, or you can restore target's HP. The cure potency of 300. However, the additional effect is grants galvanize the target, nullifying damage equaling to 125% of the amount of HP restored. So basically, as far as I know it, it would give. So if I were to cure with 1000 HP or something, like I would cure 1000 HP, and then I would basically have a shield of 250 HP over my target's HP. Also, there's a chance when you crit, when critical HP is restored, also grants Catalyze, nullifying damage equaling to 125%. 125% the amount of HP restored. So then it would basically turn into 50% of the heal that you just did. So a big ass shield. Aside from that, we have Ruin, normal Ruin, and Bio 2, which is a dot. Damage over time. Aside from that, we also have Esuna, which removes a single detrimental effect from targets. Lucid Dreaming, which we've already seen before, and then Resurrection and Swiftcast. That is all that we have. We also have Repose, but like, who fucking uses this? Honestly, who even uses this? Okay. So, how long is this episode? This episode's, I would say, pretty dang long. I'm thinking about maybe doing a dungeon run with Scholar just to show you guys what it feels like to heal. Because we haven't done that yet. We've done magical DPS. We have done melee DPS. We have done tanking of different kinds. But the things we haven't done are healing and ranged physical DPS. Which aren't really like that different from each other, I would say. Just gotta run to the other side of the freaking world. One thing you will definitely learn quite quickly is that when you queue up as a healer, you get insta-queued. Basically. So for the final part of this video, I'm gonna be doing a run. Just like a random leveling roulette run. As a Scholar, just to show you guys what healing feels like. As you can see, it's an insta-pop. You don't have to wait 20 minutes or 10 minutes or something, it's just bam, healing. It's OP and slightly infuriating. 1,000 miles of Tortorak. Let's go. I don't even have Adloquium yet. So, the thing that this class is known for, shield healing, I don't even have at this moment. Oh lord. First time tanking here. Alright. First time healing as a Scholar in a while. It should be fine though. At these low level dungeons, Eos, or your fairy, does the most amount of, does most of the healing for you. A lot of the times. I'm gonna dot these enemies while I am at it. So as a healer, you may think like, oh wait, I'm a healer, I'm supposed to heal constantly. Yes? No. As a healer in Final Fantasy XIV, most of the time, you're doing DPS, I would say. It's finding the perfect balance between doing DPS and healing. As there's a very fine balance in that. Once again, at this low level stuff, it's not going to be that interesting, but later on, it's definitely going to get more crazy healing. Another thing I've been thinking about doing, at the end of the of me leveling up all the jobs, I'm going to be doing a lot of level 50 dungeons, optional level 50 dungeons. And I'm going to be doing all those dungeons as a different job. So I'm going to go through my job list basically and play all of my jobs at least once. Just to show you guys what it feels like doing level 50 content. I could show you guys, like, I could basically, in theory, go through every single dungeons and show you guys how the class progresses. But that is really not that interesting, I would say. Watching me run through all these dungeons again and again and again. Sure, I like these dungeons, I like this game a lot, but yeah, if you really want to do stuff like that, you just play the game yourself. I would say. Like, the stuff that I'm doing is still very much within the free trial. So, there's absolutely zero reason. Like, if you want to do... Well, I wouldn't say zero reason, honestly. I'm going to use Whispering Dawn for a second. My tank is taking a little bit more damage. I could use Physic, or I could just use my free extra regeneration on top of my fairy also healing. However, though, if you've stuck around for this long and you're interested in the game, you're like, okay, this game looks cool, I swear, just try it on the free trial. Nothing can go wrong. Well, I guess the only thing that can go wrong is you getting addicted to the game. That is the only thing that I would say that could be detrimental, because then you'd have to start paying after a while. But it takes a while before you have to pay. You can do a lot of content before having to actually pay. Let me go and use a physic. Wow. This stuff is not as good as the stuff I am wearing. At the moment I'm wearing the stuff from Brave Flux's Long Stop. Whenever you see a debuff with a white stripe above it, it is a debuff that you can remove by the power of Esuna. You don't always need to remove debuffs. Some of them are really negligible, I would say. Poison can be one of those, but it depends though. At some points, like certain poison debuffs can do a hell of a lot of damage. Also in the early game, poison, like especially like if you start stacking different poison stacks on top of each other, it can definitely start to whittle down the tank. And you don't want your tank dying. As some people have said before, the one thing that you really want to avoid, actually just the one thing that you are responsible for as a healer, is not letting people die. It's not so much about like avoiding everybody taking any point of damage whatsoever. It's just about keeping people alive most of the time. Ah, okay, yeah, the poison wore off even before I could use Esuna. Esuna is a really quick cast, only 400 MP that it uses too, so it is honestly quite fine. We've also started to reach a point where, especially as a healer, you actually have to start paying attention to your my god, I'm choking. No, to your... Why am I having so many issues? You really have to start paying attention to your MP. There we go. At the moment, I am not really using that much MP, but once I start using stuff like Adloquium, use 1000 MP a pop, you can use 10 of those in a row and your MP is gone. So you need to be really careful with your MP as a healer, because if you run out of MP as a healer, there will be no healing for nobody. And you will all die. Which is kind of bad, because it is your job as a healer to keep people alive. Another thing that I would like to mention, which I think I mentioned earlier in this playthrough too, that is that I started the game as a white mage. So I started learning this game as a healer. Some people would call me crazy, as my friends have called me crazy, but at the same time I didn't know any better, so... Would I recommend starting the game as a healer though? Starting the game as a healer or a tank can be, I would say, quite stressful. If you do not want to deal with... Why in the fuck? I guess my fairy did it around her instead of... Whatever. If you want a more casual time going through this game, I would definitely suggest going with the DPS. Because when you're a tank or a healer... DPS also have responsibilities, by the way. But when you're a tank and a healer, you have a little bit more responsibilities than a DPS. A lot of the times. The tank determines the flow of your dungeon run. They determine how many enemies they pull. You need to know the way as a tank. Or that's in any case handy to know the way. In a dungeon, where to go, how many enemies there are, how to use your cooldowns, all that jazz. And as a healer, you know, need to keep people alive, because if you don't, then, well... What's the point of a healer? So I would recommend it if you are at least somewhat familiar to MMOs, and or if you're not too scared of fucking up things with random people. If you're not too stressed all the time when playing with other people and you don't really care too much what they think, then I would say that you can be a healer or a tank and you can just live with the mistakes and improve upon them. Nobody has mastered anything without any training, I would say. But as you can see, at least as Scholar at this early level, the healing just happens from your pet. Like, I've noticed how easy it is to heal at early levels in as a Scholar in this game. I'm also pretty dang sure that being a Scholar probably isn't as bad as I thought it was most of the time. I just haven't played in a long time. And shield healers just work a little bit differently. You have to basically... Usually you have to think in advance. Preferably you would give somebody a shield before they take damage. And then heal off anything else that may need healing, that like goes through the shield or any some such. And that, my friends, is all that I can say about healing at the moment. You will be able to see a much more interesting run once I do a level 50 dungeon as a Scholar or White Mage. I've noticed something about this robe. I think somebody in the story wears this robe. I'll have to check later on. Another thing that makes tanking and healing a little bit scarier is that when you do not know the mechanics of a certain encounter, then it can once again be really scary when you fuck up because you do not know the mechanics of a certain encounter. And then people start blaming you, basically. Let me go and get my fairy out. I would say the moment where you should start to use Lucid Dreaming to restore MP is about 7,500. If you're going to continue doing healing especially, you're gonna run through MP anyway. So it's a good idea to start early so that you don't like start lagging behind an MP. However, if you really want more in-depth guides about a lot of different things, you should probably look somewhere else. Because I play the game my own way. Not in a bad way, by the way, I still just, you know. I'm not gonna be an asshole about it, but... Right, I'm out of here. Also, if you want player commendations, play a healer. If you want to farm player commendations, play a freaking healer. Alright, I leveled up again. Okay, my friends. That, however, is going to conclude this episode of just us playing Final Fantasy XIV. At next episode, we're going to go and, I think, level up... I guess I can... Yeah, sure. I'll finish off... I'll go to level 35 with my Scholar. And then we'll go and do those quests, and then we'll switch back over to Ninja. Goodbye.